Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wake Up Wednesday. That last little bit of caffeine is going to help me wake up. Maybe it'll help you wake up too. Better yet, let's let the Spirit of God wake us up as we take a look at our scripture passage coming up for this Sunday, as our second lesson comes from the book of Hebrews once again, and we continue our journey through this little grouping within Hebrews. You might call it the Hall of Fame of Faith, looking at Old Testament heroes of the scriptures, and there's a whole bunch of them that are listed. It's Hebrews chapter 11. Our passage is going to begin with verse 29. But just before that, part of what we're not going to be reading talks about both Abraham and Moses. But here we have a whole list of different people. Talks about the people passing through the Red Sea, the Reed Sea, however you want to pronounce that, where the Egyptians were drowned, but they lived. Then there was marching around Jericho, and the walls fell down. How the prostitute Rahab lived and survived because she helped those spies who had come into the land in order to possess it. Then you talk about Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, David, Samuel. I mean, it just goes on. And then it lists some what could be other people. We're really not sure, or they may all have a connection to the ones that were just previously mentioned. What I mean by that, those who shut the mouths of lions, quenched the raging fire, escaped the edge of the sword, won strength out of weakness, became mighty in war, foreign battles. Women received their dead by resurrection. Others were tortured. Others suffered chains and imprisonment. They were stoned to death. They were sawn in two. Sawn in two? That's an interesting one we'll get to in a second. And just all kind of different things. But they all were faithful to God. And what this is all leading up to is sort of this grand finale. Yet all these, though they were commended for their faith, did not receive what was promised, since God had provided something better, so they would not, apart from us, be made perfect. And here we go. Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and the sin that clings so closely, and let us run with perseverance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith, who for the sake of the joy that was set before him endured the cross, disregarding its shame, and has taken his seat at the right hand of the throne of God. Okay, so I know I read an awful lot of what we have here in Hebrews, but it all just comes together in a glorious way. It's very poetic sounding in the original Greek, and that's what makes this entire passage so powerful. Even all the stuff talking about those witnesses from the Older Testament. See, a lot of people look at this as saying, you know what, the book of Hebrews seems to be one of those books of the Bible that's very supersessionalist, meaning it's placing Christianity way above and better than the Jewish faith. And that's not what it is at all. Really, when you look at this, the cloud of witnesses that surround us, they were all Jewish people. And they're looking ahead in faith for what is to come, even though they didn't receive the fullness of the promise, because that could only come through Jesus, who is, as the Revised Standard Version puts it, the pioneer and perfecter. Other versions say the author and the perfecter, the Alpha and the Omega, the one who starts it, the one who finishes it. And once Jesus comes, then it's complete. But we need all those witnesses behind us as well, because those witnesses are the ones they're cheering us on, that are encouraging us to remain faithful in whatever we must face. Now, you might notice that as you go through this list, it's not talking that things are just going to be pie in the sky, easy once you come to believe and trust in God. No, there's a lot of really tough times that these people go through. Many of them even to the point of death. Yes. And yet, what's important is to hang in there, to endure. Let's look at one other thing here. Let us run with perseverance the race that is set before us. Run with perseverance. Now that word, run with perseverance, run, is interesting in the Greek. It does have the connotations of running a race. But when you put it with everything else, there's another meaning for that word. And that meaning is to go through trying times, difficult times, struggles, to struggle. So let us struggle with endurance, just as all these other witnesses did. They did it. You can do it too. And when you do, you will see the promise that's given to you and to all who believe. You'll see that promise fulfilled in God's heavenly kingdom. This is a really good passage. It was great for the Hebrews. Remember, this is a sermon that's being given, and it's kind of wrapping up everything now and coming to the conclusion where it's laying it all down on the line, saying, hey, you got to endure. You got to hang tough. This isn't easy stuff. Jesus just didn't smooth everything out and it's all easy peasy from this point on. No, we still have the world to deal with. The world meaning all the stuff that's out there that's trying to tug you and pull you away from worship of God and trust and faith in God. Yeah, we have to deal with that. And sometimes it costs us a lot to do that. But in the end, it's worth everything. It's worth the kingdom. It's worth the new world that God has waiting for you and for me. All right. It seems like a new world out here today. Yesterday it was cloudy, overcast, gray, kind of dank, although it was refreshingly cool. And today, beautiful sunshine. Let's see. Look at that blue sky up there. Woohoo! It is absolutely awesome. God's blessings be with you and have a great day.